today, feeling the way I always do. Hungry for something that I can't eat. When I hear that beat, the people on town starts fighting so loud. It's so fucking annoying. I think I should go and kill myself. I love you, Clyde. I love the bridge. That's where I see the entertainment. I love you, bench, 'cause that's where I sleep at night. And maybe get molested. I love to swim in the Clyde. That's where I get all of my baths. There's my toilet. It's a bit thirsty at night, 'cause that's when I need. I love this seat. I think I'll go back to bed, 'cause I think I hear the police. Good morning. I love the tree like I love my bed. Why is that fucking car go past? I love you, Carmyle, like I love school. So I'll think I'll go back to bed. So good night at last.